Need some coins for that God Squad you've always wanted? Check out rockbottomcoins.com for the cheapest and fastest coins anywhere. Use code ZERK for 15% off your order. And if you guys want to compete in tournaments for cash prizes, make sure to check out tourneycrypt.com.
The whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be going over the best chemistries and best abilities to use in Madden 20. I actually do take a look basically all the time at my YouTube analytics, and I go over, which videos are doing the best, and even videos that are older that are getting a lot of views. And my best chemistries and abilities video from December is actually doing pretty dang decent right now. So I guess a lot of people currently are looking up the best chemistries, the best abilities. I know you guys could use this video, and I have to say my opinions have definitely changed quite a bit. Going over chemistries, going over abilities, everything like that. So with that being said, I figured I should remake this video and give you guys kind of an update on my personal opinion on what I think you guys should do in terms of who you should put abilities on, and what type of speed chems you should use, what sort of chemistries you should use in general. But with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like on the vid, and of course hit that sub button down below. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So starting off on the offensive side of the ball, I like to use, in my personal opinion, this is the best one to use this year, the West Coast chemistry. I feel like West Coast is still the best. This has not really changed from the previous one that I've done. I still feel as though West Coast to me is the best chemistry to go ahead and use in terms of a passing offense. I use 2 chems on offense and 2 chems on defense. You guys will see that. Basically, I use some backups, and then you can just put extra chemistries on them to actually get it to tier 6. I have 2 tier 6 abilities or chemistries on offense and on defense, but I like to use West Coast on my QBs, my tight ends, and also my wide receivers. And I believe it's also my backup offensive lineman, I want to say. You can see here he gets 2 catch, 2 pass block finesse, 2 catch traffic, 2 throw under pressure, 2 short accuracy, and 2 short route running. I feel like this year, because of how good the pass rush is, you really need to throw the ball short. Yes, you can always, max protect and try to chuck the ball deep, but to me, I like to get the catch in traffic. I like to throw like the corner routes. I like to throw across the middle. I don't really throw deep all that much. So I feel like West Coast for me is definitely more worth it. Also kind of depends on the style of offense you run. What type of QB you have. Like I have Mahomes. He obviously doesn't need go deep. That's kind of like the other one that a lot of people use, because with the go deep, you get the throw power, you get the spectacular catch, you get the deep accuracy. I really don't feel like this year is... I don't really feel like spec catch comes into much play this year, just strictly because I don't throw jump balls. One thing I noticed about this year is that, like, aggressive catches, so rare. I never ever get aggressive catches, so I decided to go with West Coast, get the catch in traffic. I will say, though, with the addition of Ultimate Legend Calvin Johnson, he definitely can go up and get those aggressive catches. You guys saw that from my Calvin Johnson gameplay they actually did with him, but still, I feel like West Coast is probably the move here. Now, in terms of speed and chem, you guys can see that I actually did switch over to Sprinter from Shaker. So with Shaker, of course, you get 1 acceleration there, you do lose 1 strength, you get an agility, you get an acceleration, you lose a jumping, you lose a strength, and then you get a speed and another jumping. So basically, you lose 2 jumping, 2 strength, and I think that's basically it. But you do get, 2 acceleration, 1 speed, and you also get an agility, which I thought was pretty nice. But as we're coming down later in the year, I want to be able to get, the +2 speed, +2 acceleration to a lot of these big-time players. Like my Calvin Johnson has got 99 speed because I switched over to Sprinter. My Troy Polamalu has got 98 speed. A bunch of my players now have got 97, 98, 99 speed with better acceleration because I switched over to Sprinter. And the thing is with this, -2 strength, not that big of a deal. -2 agility, still really not that big of a deal. I'd much rather get speed and acceleration. Those are really like, if you're going to get 1 +1 or +2 anywhere, you want it to be in speed. And obviously with Sprinter, it gives you the most speed and 2 acceleration. I know a lot of people also like to use, Brawler, because of Brawler, you do get speed, but you also lose the acceleration and you lose 1 of the agility as well. So I don't want to lose the excel. I'd rather gain 2 excel and 2 speed. So I decided to switch over to Sprinter. In my opinion, I think I'm going to keep that the rest of the year. Now, on the offensive side of the ball as well, when it comes to who do I like to actually use my abilities on, I prefer to use it on a quarterback first up. But you guys can see, these are the abilities I personally like to use. I like to use Fearless. Always have to go with a QB that has Escape Artist on him because Escape Artist is so important. There's only, if you have 82 speed on a QB, and he's the right archetype, then he can get 82, or he can get Escape Artist, of course. With Patrick Mahomes, he's a 99 overall. You can get it here in tier number 1. On to tier number 2, I like Dashing Deadeye. Perfect pass accuracy while running outside the pocket. I will say, though, a lot of people like to use Roaming Deadeye, and there's kind of like a, not really a glitch, I guess, but kind of a glitch. If you just run outside the pocket, if you're moving, just release right trigger as soon as you go to throw the ball, like right before, and press any button, and it will give you Roaming Deadeye. So if you can perfect that, Roaming Deadeye may be better over Dashing Deadeye, just because sometimes, you know, you will be standing outside the pocket either way, so you get perfect pass accuracy. And for tier 3, I personally prefer Gunslinger on Patrick Mahomes because he doesn't have the best throwing animation. It's pretty slow, to be honest. But Aaron Rodgers has an insane throwing motion, and if you pair Gunslinger with that as well is going to be very, very good. In terms of the other abilities you could potentially get, I mean, I know a lot of people like to use QB Playmaker potentially, but I really feel like Gunslinger to me is better. So these are the abilities that I probably use on any quarterback that I get throughout the rest of the year that actually can get these particular abilities. 100% though, you know, everything's kind of up to you guys what you want to do with the abilities, but I recommend Escape Artist. Always get a scrambling QB. Even if you don't want to take off like all the time, just being able to escape the pass rush, because like I said, pass rush is just so ridiculous this year, you need Escape Artist. And now let's get into the second person that I like to use abilities on, and this is very important that I think a select few players can only get these abilities. You can see I use them on Tyreek Hill, and they might be wondering, why do I have Brawler on Tyreek? Well, I have Brawler on Tyreek, and also my offensive lineman should mention that because he gets +1 strength, and of course, speed and excel does nothing when you have 99 speed, 99 excel. So I didn't need to put Brawler, or I didn't need to put Sprinter on Tyreek Hill, so I just threw Brawler on so he gets, you know, the +1 strength. It's basically the only reason he has it. Again, West Coast and all wide receivers. Now I decided to go with the Moss on Tyreek Hill strictly because if I happen to get it, it'll be cool. I rarely ever target a receiver like, I really don't target a receiver like crazy. Double me I probably should put on him, but I've never even activated Moss, double me, anything like that, because I just don't throw to one particular wide receiver that much. I will say, though, the reason I like to use my abilities on Tyreek Hill and why I recommend you guys either put them on Devin Hester or Tyreek Hill or someone very similar is if they get Human Joystick. Because Human Joystick, to me, is so important, not only just when you throw the ball to them, they're able to do such crazy plays. You can just swerve in and out of defenders. You run them at Wildcat, you can swerve in and out of defenders. And on kick returns and punt returns, special teams, such an underrated part of the game. I don't think enough people really pay attention to it because a lot of people like to scum kick to your fullback, whatever. But those people that don't, and they kick to Tyreek, you have a big possibility of actually returning that for a TD. Also, of course, have to go with Jukebox on him as well, and Streak Specialist. So really, to me, I think you guys should use your abilities on a wide receiver on your team that can get Human Joystick. There's really not a lot. Devin Hester, Brandon Cooks, Tyreek Hill. My personal recommendation, if you can't afford Tyreek Hill, looking at Devin Hester, because he does get that X factor that doesn't allow him to fumble unless he's tackled for a loss, which I definitely really like. I just like Tyreek as an all-around better wide receiver. So I definitely recommend using on wide receiver. If they can't get Human Joystick, just use it whenever you guys like to run on your team. You know, cross specialist, post specialist, route technician, streak specialist, those type of abilities. I still feel like Tyreek, though, if you can afford it, Human Joystick, you need it. And the final person on offense I like to use abilities on is obviously going to be a running back. Now, as you guys can see, I like to use Zone Run because you have +2 spin, +2 juke, +2 carry, +2 run block, +2 looseness, and +2 to run block finesse. I know a lot of people like to use Power Run as well, but I feel like Zone Run is better. You get, you know, the better juking, the better spinning, everything like that. And when it comes to the X Factors, by far and away, Freight Train is the best one on offense. You can see also I like to go with Jukebox. I will say I actually like to go with Evasive because you get better juke and spin, but Bo Jackson, unfortunately, does not get Evasive here, but he does get Bruiser in tier number 2. So Bruiser, of course, is more powerful truck and stiff arm animations. To me, Bo Jackson is the best running back in the game. And personally, I run a lot of inside zone plays. So inside zone Guru to me is the best. But I think in the tier 3, you guys should probably go with whatever you guys use. So if you like to use inside zone, if you like to do tosses, if you like to do outside zone, I recommend you go with that just so you get that better run blocking. I personally run the inside zone. I feel like you got to have at least Jukebox so you get the way better jukes. And Bruiser is definitely really, really good if you don't have a Bruiser available on that running back, though. Maybe you want to go with Bulldozer, something to help you truck so you have the ability to juke and also truck. And now let's get into the defensive side of the ball. And as you guys can see, I use lockdown on my cornerbacks and my safeties. And also I use it on my middle linebackers because, of course, they're out there trying to play some coverage. Now, also, I do use two chemistries on the defense side of the ball, just like on offense, and those two chemistries are pass rush and lockdown. I use pass rush to my outside linebackers and also my defensive line because I run a 3-4. So my outside linebackers are Lawrence Taylor and Von Miller, and they're pass rushing, and I actually use my abilities on them. Now, one key thing that has changed for me very recently, actually, is I now like to use abilities on safeties. I used to use them on cornerbacks, but I kind of figured out using them on a safety as good as Troy Polamalu, if you guys can get Taylor Mays, if you guys have Pat Tillman, I really feel like using them in a safety is much better because you guys can see, of course, zone hawk, more catch knockouts and interceptions than zone coverage. Someone tries to try you deep after they get an interception or two forcing completions, not going to work out well for them. Tier 1, I like to go with acrobat. If you guys can get this is very, very important, especially for a safety. Diving swats and interceptions, I'm going to tell you guys right now. Go watch my gameplay of Calvin Johnson versus Troy Polamalu. Wait until you see the plays this man was making with acrobat. He literally carried a streak down the field. Someone ran a route combination with a streak and a very deep corner route that, of course, is going to leave either the corner or the streak open, depending on how your safety plays it. Troy P carried the streak of the field. He threw the corner route. Troy broke on the ball, dove, and swatted the corner. Acrobat 100% needed. And after that play, I decided, literally that one play made me decide to keep my abilities on Troy P because he was able to do that. Also, of course, Enforcer, guaranteed tackle after hits taking ball carriers, and universal coverage, improved coverage, and catch knockouts in man and zone. I recommend you guys definitely use Acrobat, and if you can't get, universal coverage on whatever players you have, if they can get zoned out, definitely recommend that. If you can't get that, maybe just go with like tip drill and another ability on them as well. Definitely recommend, though, if you can get these three, universal coverage, Enforcer, and Acrobat, obviously that's going to be for the higher overall players, but once you get there, definitely worth it to do those. Now, as I said, I did use my abilities on Lawrence Taylor and Von Miller as well. So I used Troy P, Lawrence Taylor, and Von Miller. They actually both, I believe, get the same exact abilities. Unstoppable Force for the X Factor, pass, rush, wins, lead to quicker block shedding. Now, if you guys run a 4-3, put it on your defensive ends because they're going to be on the edge. Whoever's on the edge, I recommend you use your abilities on them. I went with Under Pressure here for tier number 1, bigger area of effect for QB pressure and disruption. Tier 2, I decided to go with Power Specialist. It is faster power move animations during the pass rush. In tier 3, I went with Edge Threats Elite. It is dominant pass rush moves and increased QB pressure. So this, of course, gives you dominant pass rush moves. This is for faster power move animation. So I believe that if you were to use Pass Rush Elite here, you can see it says quicker pass rush moves. That is basically Power Specialist, and it is also Finesse Specialist, I believe, combined. So I believe these two are perfectly fine to have separated. Don't put, like, if you go with, say, Reach Elite, and then, or you go with, like, Pass Rush, and then go with Pass Rush Elite, this doesn't stack. So don't stack abilities like that because it just doesn't work. But those are the abilities that I've actually got on Von Miller, and I also use abilities on Lawrence Taylor. I want to say they're the exact same, but I can double check on that, but I'm pretty dang sure they are the same. And you guys can see the abilities that I use on Lawrence Taylor. Of course, Unstoppable Force again, Reach Elite, Under Pressure, and Pass Rush Elite. It's a little bit different, I guess, with the abilities he's actually able to get. So those abilities I use on Lawrence Taylor and Von Miller, and of course, Troy Polamalu. I hope this video did help you guys out, though. Definitely recommend you guys use Sprinter. In terms of pass rushers, definitely want to go with the pass rush ability, lockdown on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, definitely, my opinion, West Coast when it comes to your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, and your tight ends and your backup offensive linemen. Just put like golds there. And of course, when it comes to your starting offensive lineman, your fullback, and your running backs, go with zone run in my personal opinion. But I hope this video did help you guys out. Let me know down below who you guys personally use abilities on and what abilities do you guys like to use. I hope you did enjoy the video. And if you did, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. And of course, hit that sub button down below. I'll see you guys next time.